Hello Gemini, my name is Nigel and you have found Alchemy. Today we're going to be moving through your July 2024 reading. Let's get started right away. We have reflection. You might be using this time to reflect on your life, your choices. There may be a separation of sorts going on, a separation between you and somebody else, a separation between two parts of yourself, a separation between you and perhaps a way of thinking. This card here, sorry, these cards are really hard to pick up. Okay. This card here, obviously, it speaks for itself. It's a fractured mind. You may have a lot on your mind. You may be extremely stressed out at this time. You do have the new moon in Pisces card coming in reverse. And, you know, when I see this, there is something that could have happened in March of this year when the new moon was in Pisces. I believe it was on the 10th. And it could have sort of kicked off all this energy for you. You have the sign of Sagittarius, and one thing I do see very clearly in this reading, it's very mutable. You have Sagittarius, you have Pisces here, and obviously Gemini, all mutable signs. So there might be a lot of change afoot in your life. It says, focus on one thing at a time. Stick with it. You can do all things. You can't be all things or do all things for everyone. So it's telling you to take one thing at a time. If you're feeling overwhelmed, as denoted in this picture here, Gemini, to take one thing at a time and do one thing at a time instead of trying to do 10 things at a time. I know Geminis can be that way. They could open up 12 files in their head and try to accomplish all these things at once. And generally speaking, it works for them. But I think in the situation you're in now, you really need to focus on one thing at a time. And, you know, drawing this to a close here, you have responsibilities. I mean, it's sort of 10 of Wands energy here. You have a lot of responsibility, a lot of fractured mind going on here. You have some sort of separation going on between either, like I said, it could be you and your job, it could be you and a person, it could be two sides. You know, this is very Geminian energy when you see these two birds going in two different directions, right? Could be two parts of your mind just doing this. And you do have Sagittarius coming in to tell you, take one thing at a time, Gemini, sort of think out of the box. You have the card of change, and there is a change coming in your life here, Gemini, and it does say date night and give it time. This might be a relationship. Obviously, most Gemini readings, excuse me, I'm suffering from allergies at this time, so I'm going to be sort of clearing my throat a lot. But yeah, you have the change night, the change card, and it says give it time and date night. And basically, this might be a change to your relationship status, or a change to your dating status, a change either way with the separation card right here. I would have to think some of you are absolutely going through a separation. So let's get started with the beginning of your reading. We are going to move through this pretty quickly, and then we're going to go back and clarify everything. So just stick around, and then sort of at the end of the reading, we'll dip into next month and get a preview here. So you have the Five of Swords here in reverse. This could be you absolutely being tired of fighting. You might be arguing with people or someone. You might be very tired of that. This might be opening up old wounds as well. You have here the Seven of Coins, which you are waiting for something. Most of the time, coins obviously has something to do with money, but there's something you're waiting for that has not come in yet, but you're hopeful. You have the Eight of Coins and the Eight of in reverse. So you may be very tired of working on this, waiting for this. There is a card. There is obviously a lot of money energy here at the beginning of the month. Mid-month here, you have the Star card, and it is the card of healing. It is also the card of Aquarius. And you have the King of Swords in reverse. Now, that's also an Aquarian card, but the King of Swords can stand for any air sign. and you probably know that. But when the King of Swords is in reverse, he can be and he can be a he or a she. He can be very demeaning. He could be very he could feel he's always right. He could be sort of showy with his intelligence to the point where it's, it's unattractive. He could be cutting, very cutting with his words. You can be dealing with someone like that is in the center of your reading. An angry King of Swords is a force to be reckoned with. It is someone who is capable of pretty much anything. And so if you're dealing with someone like that, I would just take care, because it is in the center of your reading. You do have the Chariot here coming in sideways. That is Cancerian energy, and it is a choice you're going to have to make. Are you going to move on from something? It seems as though you have to make a choice mid-month, what you're going to do. That is up in the air because it is coming in sideways, and each of you are going to make a different choice. Do you move on from this energy, or do you stay put? Let's say the end of the month here, you have the Five of Coins coming in reverse, which is a good card. This is a card of someone who could be broke, obviously could be at the end of their rope financially. It could be someone who is on the outs with somebody else, left out in the cold, abandoned. But it is in reverse. So if you're having money problems at the end of the month, it looks like you have some relief. If you're having problems and you feel abandoned, it looks like you're starting to feel less so. You have the Queen of Coins here in reverse. So the Queen of Coins in reverse sort of warns us to be careful with our money and plan better. You're not, somebody is not planning as well as they should, and it actually gives birth to this card of not planning, right? The Three of Wands is not looking towards the future, not planning correctly, right? And I just want to go back here a little bit. You do have the Five of Swords right next to the Star card, right next to the Five of Coins in reverse. You may be tired of arguing with someone. You may be, you may heal something. I mean, some of you absolutely, with the Star card here, may heal something, and therefore it gives birth to some good luck here with money, or at the very least, your mindset. Your mindset might be, I can tell someone's mindset is extremely bad right now. For sure. So you may have that healing energy that comes in here, Gemini. Let me just see. You have the Seven of Coins. You're waiting for something. Yeah. There is somebody in your life that maybe attacking you verbally. You may feel very attacked. You may feel very up against the wall with this person. This could be you lashing out at somebody else. It is, like I said, in the center of your reading. It is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It is someone who is definitely not mincing words. So you have this giving birth to this, giving birth to this. If this is you and you're just in this mindset temporarily this month, it is not helping you. I mean, I don't need to tell you that, right? It's not doing you any favors. And maybe that's why the Sagittarian card was pulled, to focus on one thing at a time, to not lash out. Perhaps if this is somebody else, it looks like somebody else is quite angry, and whatever it is they're saying to you is putting you in a certain mood, a certain hole, and it's making things worse. It's going to be different for all of you, and it's really difficult to zone in and on one exact thing for all Geminis right now. But you are tired of arguing. You are tired of arguing. Show me the beginning of the month here for Gemini. Yeah, remember when I said it's money? It is about money. You will have money coming to you here at the end of the month, I believe. Show me the mid-month. Too many cards. Yeah. There seems to be a lot of focus on money here this month. Give me, it says you will be playing a different role, hat. Perhaps you wear many hats. Perhaps you're a creature of many guises to different people. I mean, it's very Geminian, right? Yeah, you may be wearing a different hat for each person in your life. You may feel like you're unable to be yourself. It does say family sorrow here at the end of the month. So it's a light warning here, Gemini, that the choices you make, especially with the sideways cards, are going to, it's going to predict your outcome for sure. Before we do that, let's get into your warnings here. I'm sorry you're under so much stress. You do have a loss in your in your warnings. You do have some sort of loss here with the Ace of Cups in reverse, and a sort of loss of love, loss of respect, perhaps. You do have the Four of Wands in reverse, which is the loss of what you considered to be a home. For sure. Could be, like I said, a relationship. It could be two sides of yourself. And I say that because I do believe that's true of one of you. I do think part of your brain is fractured and you may be morphing, honestly, into something entirely different. You have here the moon in reverse. You are going to see things clearly, for better or for worse. You have Cancerian energy once again here on the table. We are moving into Cancer season, by the way, so this might be a very prolific season one way or the other for you. Now here in your blessings, you do have the Hanged Man in reverse, which is Piscean energy, but more than that, it is you coming out of a contemplative state. Maybe you were in a contemplative state for most of this month, but at the end of the month in your blessings column, you have yourself coming out of that. And you have here, oh wow, look at this. You have the King of Swords upright. Yeah, like I said, this is typically, classically Aquarian energy, and the King of Swords in reverse was in the center of your reading. But honestly, everyone knows that the King of Swords could easily be a Gemini, or any air sign. So if this was you and you were sort of you were very cutting with your words, you were very sharp-tongued for most of the month, your blessing is that things do calm down and you sit back on your throne staring up, straight ahead with your sword of logic and clarity, right? If this was someone else who was extremely cutting with you, your blessing seems to be that this does dissipate, okay, Gemini? And your money card does come in. So it seems like money here is a big, big theme this month. And perhaps you're arguing with someone or more than one person about money. Your mind, if this doesn't really pertain to you quite as much, I do think there are many Geminis out there that are going through some sort of fracture with their brain. And my challenge is always picking up this damn card. Hopefully you could see it because it's really hard. You see how this person, their head is just fracturing off. And in this card, you have the bird going in two different directions. You may be pulled in two different directions. Or like I said, this may be you just being under a tremendous amount of stress. And this is something else that's just happening in the background. There is change coming. You are under a great deal of stress with your responsibilities. This card is Spirit telling you to take one thing at a time. Don't try to do 12 things at a time. Do one thing at a time. Finish that. Move on to the next. It may be very difficult for a Gemini to do that because Geminis are used to doing many things at once. You are going to have money coming to you. Money seems to be an issue, and it seems to be a sort of lack thing going on here. But you are going to experience some ups and downs this month with money for sure. Let me pull this deck for you, or show me these warnings for Gemini, please. Show me these warnings for Gemini. Warnings for Gemini for July. Do not back down I'm so sorry. Do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. So, your warning here. There is a Taurus on here. You may be dealing with a Taurus for sure. There is a bull. But it is, Gemini, this is in your warnings, and perhaps coming off bullish like this is not the best thing for you. It is in your warnings column. It says, do not back down from opposition, show strength and fortitude. Maybe the opposite is true here. It is in your warnings. If this was in your blessings or honestly, any other part of your reading, I would say, yeah, and if this is you as the King of Swords reversed, I think Spirit is trying to tell you to calm down here and that you'll catch more flies with honey. Show me these blessings. Show me these blessings. You have sunrise, perfect. New creative ideas, a fresh start. When the sun rises, a new chapter begins. So I like that for you. It looks like a very stressful month for someone. Dipping into next month, it looks like you continue to have some problems here with your love life. You have this mystical sister card, so there may be someone in your life that you consider to be trustworthy, someone who you can count on here, someone who may light a fire under your butt here, somebody who may help you in some way. It could be, and like I said, this is a general reading. This could be anything. It could be monetary. It could be sympathetic ear. It could be therapy. It could be anything, but it's something that you use to fertilize your future, even if that is just unfragmenting your brain. Yeah, you have the death card here and the rebirth card here. So something has to die in order for something else to be born. Gemini, you do have a new start coming here with the new moon card, and it says loan approved. So you're either going to get approved for a loan. This could be very literal, or what that thing you were waiting for finally comes through. All right, that thing you were waiting for finally comes through. You are entering a honeymoon period here, and the honeymoon period is a fresh start. I mean, it doesn't mean, mostly it doesn't, it's not literal. So you are facing a fresh start. You're facing a lighter energy next month. You may still be having problems here, but the overall energy seems so much lighter. You do have the flying devil here, and it says, in order to touch the very depths of your being, you must explore your buried self through shadow work. There may be some shadow work you need to accomplish to really end this down cycle and move on to another. Shadow work is facing your shadow side, facing in truth, with this moon in reverse, really looking at things and saying, okay, what was my part in this? Not so much for anyone else's benefit, not to ask for forgiveness or anything like that, but just to know, what is it that really happened? And this way I can put it in its proper place and move on from it. And I think this energy will dissipate here. You do have the Hierophant in the future. The Hierophant is Taurian energy. It is the energy of doctrines, right? It could be contracts. It could be marriage. It could be a commitment of some kind. It could be, in many cases, it could be the law. Mostly I see justice for the law, but it could be something like that. You do have an inability to move forward the way you would like. You may have a Queen of Wands character in reverse here, somebody who is fairly narcissistic, that prevents you from planning for your future and creates a hold, because you have the World in reverse, more fixed energy. You have the World in reverse here, which means a cycle that can keep repeating itself. You have Judgment in reverse. If you're, there's a lot of potential here, Gemini, to go either way. Things could go either way. Just don't do this. Don't do this. Don't blindfold yourself and say, I don't want to know, I don't want to hear, I don't want to see. If you do that and you let an unknown energy or something outside yourself take your life and drive your car, you're going to end up in a place that isn't very good. You might end up repeating this whole cycle. You might end up in a worse place. You need to take the bull. Where did it say bull? You need to take the bull by the horns and alleviate some of the stress. And the only way to do that is to go inward here. And this way you can feel unstuck, not repeating this. And here we go. The wheel of fortune can turn again in your favor. And you will find the strength to do this. It is a choice you're going to have to make. For sure. You might be able to avoid a tower moment here by doing so. You may have chances in your future by doing so. Absolutely. I am going to pull, I'm going to pull one of these cards here for you, Gemini. Show me something for Gemini here. Gemini, you have a choice to make here. Don't get so wrapped up in your head where you don't make choices and you just allow life to unfold and you're like a victim to whatever it is that happens. You have to take hold of that wheel. Shadow work is definitely indicated here. You have to do the shadow work. You have to figure out what's in the shadows. What am I not seeing? What am I refusing to look at? What am I... There is something you're not seeing. And I think it's willful. I think you're doing it purposely. And it may not be consciously, but you're doing it. So you need to open your eyes and see something for sure. You do have the sun. So here you have light. What needs to be illuminated in your life? What needs to be illuminated at the bottom of the deck? You have more fire energy, ignition, Sagittarian energy for sure. You need to take one thing at a time. If you're experiencing a lot of problems, you need to take one thing at a time. You need to either figure out why this King of Swords is so angry with you and face that, or if that's you need to quell that anger, because here in your blessings column, your blessings come when you relinquish that side of you, if that's you. There is Aquarian energy here on the table. So it could be for some of you, you are dealing with an Aquarius, but for many of you, it could be an alternate side of you. You have two sides here, right? You have the dark and the light side of the King of Swords coming out here. And your blessings reside when he is upright and he's telling the truth and he's clear and the sun brings clarity, Gemini. Let me just pull a timing card for you. Show me a timing card for Gemini, please. Show me a timing card of significance for Gemini, please. Show me a timing card of significance for Gemini, please. Looks like the fall, things will come to some sort of culmination, and in December is going to mark something very important. So look for something in this situation in the fall to really start some sort of change in a direction, and in December the culmination of this is going to occur. So you have time to make things right, and I do believe that what happens next is going to be up to you. I really believe that what happens next is going to be up to you. You are taking time to reflect, and that's a good thing. But when you reflect on your shadow side. You can't, and I found this out myself, right? You can reflect on someone else's shadow side all you want, and you could be 100% right, but it's not going to really change your life, right? That's their path. Your path can change if you really look at things for what they are, Look at your part in things. Look at what happened as far as your shadow side. Do your shadow work. And the end result of this coming is going to be better, much better than it would be if you continue to be this. Spirit wants you to be this, not this. You have time. Work on things this summer. Work on things this summer, because this autumn a ball is going to start rolling, and the direction it starts rolling in is going to be pushed in a direction by the actions you take this summer. And by the time the winter comes, it's going to be too late. So do the work. Do it for purely selfish reasons. And understand that you need to get in touch with that buried part of yourself. Absolutely. You are dealing with a life-changing event, for sure. I am going to pull one more card. I know I do this all the time, and people get upset because some readings are very short and some readings are very long, and I have no say. I'm usually just pulled. Give me one last card for Gemini, please. One last card for Gemini, please. Give me one last card for Gemini. Okay, I'll take two. And of course, Gemini, they're coming in sideways, right? Sideways means, in these particular cards especially, that you waffle between two energies, right? And it says the gambler. The shadow aspect of the gambler is relying on luck rather than hard work. And the light side, the light attribute, is the willingness to follow your intuition even when others doubt you. And if you look at that, he is blindfolded, right? Do not rely on luck. I really believe just being a victim, I don't know if victim's the right word, just letting this happen to your life is not the right thing to do. And here you have teacher, and you have both the light attributes and the shadow attributes. And the shadow attributes are manipulating or abusing others, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. The light attribute is the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, or wisdom correctly, right? And this person is holding the world in their hand. So you waffle between these energies here, and the shadow work is highly aspected in this reading for you, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I will see you next time. Namaste.